There's been a lot of speculation recently about self-driving cars. Basically, everyone's working in that industry, from the major car companies to Google. And it may be that self-driving cars are the car of the future, but I'm not so sure of it. I have never really been much of a driver. I've never owned a car. I don't really like driving because to me the car feels disembodied. And so thinking about what the car might become, I've thought about how it might become more a function or a part of myself.
All of the OEMs, the car manufacturers, they're trying to move towards autonomous vehicles. So where me and Jonathan are looking at this project is how might a world be when we go down the autonomous vehicle route? And that's not the answer. Maybe the answer is really to immerse the driver deeper into the driving experience so they feel engaged in what they're doing.
The digital display potentially.
I've been working on a number of prototypes that are exploratory in the sense of trying to figure out what the car of the future might be if in fact it is a wearable.
It's great to have artists and engineers working together because each of them are going to have, a different viewpoint, a different perspective about what's interesting or what could be an idea that could be worth exploring. And so when you have the different viewpoints coming together, each side can see differently or see a different perspective. And then my hope is that when they get together, that something new that either side, either say the technologist or the artist, wouldn't have not considered in the first place.
The concepts we're looking at with this project is how can we do this through sensory immersion, being that we take sensor data from the inside of the engine bay, the outside of the car, and furthermore, the metrics of the data being sensed in the car. And how can we convert that into a auditory or a new immersive experience inside the vehicle? Now you're coming to a stop.
Now this is good. I feel like the up and down of it, as far as speed is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now if we go this way, here, now. In order to be able to experience the speed of the car intuitively, you can potentially make use of a phenomenon neuroscientifically shown to occur when you get to be more stimulated. That is to say, as you are more stimulated, time seems to move more slowly, and as a result, more seems to happen in any given span of time. That maps on perfectly to what the car is experiencing as it goes faster. Therefore, by making the tempo of the music faster as the car goes faster and stimulating the driver by that faster tempo, it becomes possible to make it so that the driver is psychologically shifting in terms of perception of time, that the driver is feeling what the car is experiencing on the road. The RPM of a car is not at all intuitive. And yet it's essential in terms of how the car functions. By having the volume of the music increase as the car is expending more power, it becomes possible intuitively to grasp the power usage in the vehicle. Anemometers are customarily used in weather stations to be able to measure the speed of wind. In my case, I'm using them as a way in which to measure the flow of air over the car, the left side versus the right side, in order to have some sense of how the car interacts physically with the world. I'm mapping that for the driver using the driver's binaural hearing by having the stereo system shift from left to right based on how fast the air is on the left side of the car relative to the right side. I'm not an engineer, so ultimately I'm not trying to develop a new technology. I'm interested in the car as a vehicle to be able to explore a relationship with technology over the long term, thinking about how we might relate to artificial intelligence, or at the opposite extreme, what might happen as we become more one with our machines, a cyborg future, and whether that in fact is advantageous. I don't know the answer. That's really why I'm undertaking this experiment. It's a thought experiment more than anything else, a way in which we can collectively explore what sort of future we want.